Hey, everybody, welcome to another fabulous workshop here at the Tarot Guild. Niching or niching your tarot business, how to stand out in a sea of readers with author Nicole Colella. And, we're going to be talking about how to set yourself up as, the expert, you know, and maybe even be seen as a cut above the rest of the horde of tarot advisors out there today. And just as a little background, Nicole is a member of the Tarot Guild. She's a certified tarot professional, and she's the author of Kickstart Your Tarot Business, a professional's guide to building your business. Hey, Nicole.
Hi there. How are you? I have that. No, I'm like tongue-tied. Hi, Dax. Thank you for having me today.
Fun stuff. So you talk about niching or niching. I like to say niching only because the riches are in the niches.
Yes.
But but you talk about that a little in your book. But we thought, hey, let's do a workshop and expand, a little
Yeah.
bit on that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm quite excited about it because it's one question that everybody always asks me, and I love talking about it.
Mhm.
So I have an outline prepared so I don't go on a tangent, but I can't guarantee anything.
But hopefully everybody here will ask some really cool questions too.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Things we didn't think about that'll, oh, wait, I got an answer to that. Or even if we don't got an answer, we'll figure it out for you.
Mhm. So, as Dax said, hi, I'm Nicole. I am from New Jersey, northern New Jersey. So, I would say the New York tri state area then. That's what I consider myself. I have been a professional tarot reader for a little over a year now. But as far as experience with business, I have been an entrepreneur on one level or another since 2001. So and of course, to get into what my niches are as a tarot reader, I specialize in relationships, shadow work, and pets. So,
Pets, yay.
yay, pets! Yeah, definitely,
There's
definitely.
one that people don't think of a lot. And I got to tell you, having done radio for the last, I think we're in our 14th year of doing radio and podcasting and such, that on the Psychic Talk Radio Network, the most popular thing we've ever had is when the pet psychics come on. Oh, excuse me, animal communicator. They don't like pet psychic, but I'm talking pet psychics.
Yes, definitely. But so I wanted to talk a little bit today about the importance of a niche, and it actually offers you to do more quality readings because you're specializing in that, and you practice it over and over and over again. You can target specific markets or people, and you can brand yourself as a leader or an authority in that area. And you can also network, vend, or offer services or team up with other businesses in that niche. So that's kind of what happens as far as with getting involved in the pet niche. I read at a store on a weekly basis every Saturday, and they were approached by a dog rescue, they were a dog rescue, to have a day where they come in and set up outside the store to kind of promote an adoption day. And then I just so happened to be there that day doing readings. And I was like, well, I'll do pet readings. I'll do, animal readings. And that's kind of how it blew up. So you can work with so you don't have to just work with a metaphysical store. So there's other areas that you could get into if you have a specific niche where, you could grow from there. Another thing is like I do, like I said, relationship dynamics and shadow work. So there's a big area in the wellness community that you can kind of work with. My words today, I'm not. um, but yeah, so I can't hear you, Dax.
Oh, sorry. I said it's still, I was muted, trying to block out some of the sounds here. But yeah, it's still early in here. I'm still having my coffee, trying to wake up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another example that working with the wellness community, you can, expand your horizons on your target market as well. So let's talk about the process of how you go about finding a niche. Like, that's great. You have I know my niche, but how do you go about finding your niche? So my process in which what I did was, I did 100 when I was training. So my training, I trained with Dusty White, and in his school, his training requires us to go and do 100 free readings when we first start. And that's basically to do a couple things. That's to, build our client network. It's to get referrals. It's to get testimonials, and just practice what it's like to do readings for the public without having that pressure of there's money being exchanged. So it's to help work on your accuracy as well. And, there are advantages. Like I said, you build your client network and you get to practice in different subject areas. So what you want to do is you want to do those readings in as condensed amount of time as possible. So you don't want to take 6 months to do your 100 readings, because then you're going to kind of not be able to identify the patterns as quickly. And you need to hone the skills and of the readings, so that, if you're doing a certain kind of reading, you're going to see, as you're doing the reading, that the cards are going to read a little bit different on every subject that you come up against. So, there's a process that I read. So I do Celtic crosses for, like, this is just an example, for the pets, and I do Celtic crosses for humans. But depending on what the subject is or whom the subject is, the cards will read differently to me. So, like, for an example, a sword suit for a human, and this is just how I see it, a sword suit for a human could be their thoughts or their communication. But an animal, we don't really quite know how an animal thinks or how, an animal communicates. But what we do know is, we do know that an animal could be aggressive. So if there's a lot of swords, I see that as the animal could be quite possibly a little bit aggressive. So that's just an example. So it could go back and forth with that. And that's something that you're only going to discover by reading and reading and reading for, different people and different subjects. And those little nuances will come out. Now, what you want to do is, the first 25 or 30 readings, you want to just read for anybody interested, but you want to keep track of a couple things: the questions that you asked, and your energy and your attitude towards the reading. So what you want to do is, you want to make a note of how you feel during the readings. Like, if you do a reading and you're kind of like afterwards, you're going to know whether that subject lights you up or not, as opposed to, like, doing a reading and you're really, really excited and you're getting really involved about the topic that you're reading on. And those are the ones that you want to really make note of, because that's more than likely what you're going to enjoy reading and what you may want your niche to be. So you want to, like I said, you want to keep track of, the questions and how you feel during the reading. And after those 25 or 30 readings, what you want to do is, you want to go back and look at your notes and see what topics you read on, what topics and what were the questions that really got you excited and really got you interested and really motivated you to want to do more readings like that. And then what you do is after those 30 readings, you go through the notes. So, yep, like I said here, you list the topics you enjoyed reading on, you work, and then what you do is the remaining 70 readings or so that you have out of that 100 that we're talking about, you use those 70 readings to target the subjects that interested you and explore those as possibly becoming your niche. So this and the 70, which is great because there's a lot. So you could say, okay, well, look, I liked 3 topics. I like reading on 3 topics. So try to point those remaining 70 readings in those directions of those 3 topics, for example. And then what you do is, again, you keep the notes and you keep track, and then you see if that's really what you liked. But always keep an open mind. There's no rhyme or reason to what you do because, like I said, I like reading for pets and I like reading on shadow work and I like reading on relationship dynamics. But if somebody comes to me and they're having a work issue, I'm still going to read on it. It's just not something, it's not something that I prefer, but I still understand that when you're at like a psychic fair or you're at a vendor event, you can't control who comes up to you and asks for a reading. So it's something that we always have to be prepared for, that we can't block everybody out and be like, well, no, I just do that. Because there are, circumstances where you're going to have to, well, it's your choice, but there's circumstances where you're going to have to decide whether you want to do a reading or not on a topic. Any questions, Dax? I guess we're good.
Anything so far? I guess, okay. I think we're doing good.
Okay. So, a lot of this research that we're doing on ourselves and our business, you might actually surprise you where it takes you, because, it might be a niche that you might not expect. And that's kind of what happened with me. I really did not expect relationship dynamics to be a passionate thing for me, or even pets to be something passionate for me. And, your niche can always change as you change and grow as a reader as well. So that's another thing to really keep in mind, that, we're constantly, beings that are evolving, and it really does flow over into our work, that our work and the work we do evolves as well. So I listed a few types of ways that you can niche. So you can either niche in readings, which is spread specific. So you could become known for doing specific types of spreads or layouts. So that could be a niche. Okay. So you'd be like, oh, I'm a Celtic cross reader, or, but I have, for example, there's a relationship spread that I do that it's a 15 card layout. So it's a relationship dynamic spread. So in that realm, I'm known for that reading. Like, people will come to me and be like, I want that reading. And I'm like, okay. So, so I have a small little niche there. You could also niche on your topic of reading. So doing readings on specific subjects, like I was saying earlier, pets, tarot mediumship, tarot manifestation, wellness as far as shadow work, relationship dynamics. So those kinds of things. And then you have a target market niche, which could be reading for a corporate business, reading for other tarot readers, reading for pets/pet lovers. So there's your target market. And then you have, any of the combination of the 4 I just mentioned. So I myself, yes, I kind of move within all of those little niches. So it's a very hard topic when, because you can be so finite. And I still remember I was in my old business, I was a professional photographer, and I went up on stage and got to meet like Gary Vaynerchuk and ask a question, and I was like, well, I've niched, I'm a yoga photographer, and he's like, that's not a niche, and I'm like, what? And he's like, no, like a niche would be like a super finite niche would be, you would only photograph blonde haired yogis in the city that would only wear black. And I was like, whoa, like, so you can take this, and that's kind of the lesson I got here. You could take this as broad or as tight as you want it, but you have to be careful that you don't bring it so tight that you're closing out a whole realm of people. Does it make sense?
Sure, I think of that as like sub niching, even
Yeah.
way to describe it, and um an element of that is, for me, I always tell people, what big problem are you solving? You can have this really broad niche where it seems like you've really narrowed it down. I'm the romance reader, but you can sub niche down into, yes, it could be demographics. I only read for women between 45 and 60, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or even geographically, you could be niched. Nowadays, that's uh, not even a good strategy. I don't think. You got billions of people as your potential clients out there. Why, you know? So maybe that's not a good example, but
I mean, as far as that, that's part, I feel like that's part of a target
mhm.
market thing with the demographics, because I'll read internationally via Zoom, but I'll only really travel up to an hour and 20 minutes away. See what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
I have a tight area where I will appear,
Mhm.
but I will read for everyone.
So what I was getting at for sub niching is going from, you've brought it down to romance readings, but that's still pretty broad.
Yeah.
So sub niching, and the way I think is the best to do it is to ask yourself, okay, this is the area I'm interested in. Um, but what problem am I good at solving for people within that niche? So for instance, in romance, trying to think of something off the top of my head. So I think something along the lines of, I help you reconnect with your soulmate or find your soulmate in the first place. But something that's a big problem that somebody within that niche wants to solve. And it does a few things. First, it sets you up even more as the expert, but also you can charge a lot more for that because
Mm-hmm.
you're a specialist in a sub niche where you solve a problem for somebody. So the example I always use being a hypnotherapist is hypnosis. So you can use hypnosis for helping people study, remember things, get over phobias, quit smoking, lose weight. I mean, it's just endless what you can do. But when you become the stop smoking expert, you go from, oh, I can charge $150 per session to, no, I I'm not charging per session. I'm charging, I solve this problem for you. And it's $600
Yeah.
or it's
And
$1,500 or
yeah,
what,
I mean,
whatever.
even within the pet communication community, I've actually learned something this week because I work with somebody who does pet Reiki. So there's that as well, but there are specific pet communicators that do nothing but look for lost animals.
Right, right. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at.
Right.
I mean, somebody's gonna, pay a lot more for that. And also it's a really, really sub-niched specific thing. You
Hmm.
know,
I mean,
I help people find lost pets,
yeah, and
or
there's even,
combining the mediumship with it. I only help people talk to pets that have passed.
yeah, I do that as well. I do the mediumship part of it with the
Mhm.
tarot, and I do the kind of like the pet is right there, and I do the reading for the pet, and I kind of tell the owner what's going on and what their concerns are right now and what's kind of causing their anxiety and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's even tarot readers that do dowsing with the tarot. So that could even be a very specific niche as well. So you could help people find lost things or, look for buried treasure. But yeah, it's definitely a niche. And even um, working with the government or working with law enforcement, that's another niche.
And finance, and then
Mhm.
sub niching down to I help business owners reach six figures, something like that. Much more valuable, much more niche down. And then
Mhm.
you can specialize within that sub niche. I work with men between 30 and 45 that are, really just getting going.
Right.
Or I only work with single moms that are, 45 to 60 or something like that.
Definitely. And the other thing too is that you can decide to experiment and try to find a new niche for yourself, and you could run through this process of the 100 readings and taking the notes for yourself and everything at any time during your tarot career. It doesn't necessarily have to be something where you're just starting out. You could be paying attention while you're doing your regular readings at a psychic fair or at a vendor event and start to realize, hey, I've had a bunch of these readings and they've really hit on it at a core, and I've been accurate here. Let me explore this. Maybe this is a new niche for me. And that can happen at
Yeah.
any time.
Yeah, you could be not even looking for it and notice that, wow, I'm really good at helping people reconnect with a past love, or I'm really good at helping people find their soulmate or something like that. You just notice it in all the readings that you're doing, and then you can focus on that and just test the waters. you know
Absolutely.
is there a lot of call for that? And if you try to exclusively just do those readings for a while, you know do you get bored quickly? Or do you really love it? Does it continue to flow, where you're able to do it really easily? Or was that just a hiccup, and now you're not doing so good, at finding the lost pet, or whatever it is, so you test the waters and find out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, that was the one thing with the relationship spreads. When I first started doing them, I was kind of like, oh, like I don't want to be, I hate relationship spreads, because like you always hear that like people come to you and they're like, so is he coming back to me? And it was just kind of like that stereotypical question that was in my head that I was like, oh my God, I am gonna hate this. But that wasn't the kind of question I was getting. And when I was working through it, it was more of, and that's why I say it's relationship dynamics, because it's not just a spousal relationship. it's been issues between child and parent. It's been issues at, at work and coworkers, or a worker or an employee and their boss, and or there is a spousal thing going on. So there's a broader umbrella with it being a relationship dynamic. So I'm not, and it is funny because I really do feel like you attract the people that you need to help. So I'm really not attracting those. I probably can count on one hand, I like the question of, is he coming back, or or when am I going to find true love? And it's like, well, when you heal yourself. So you're going to attract what so you have to heal yourself, because what you're attracting is because of what's going on with you personally. But you know they're very few and far between, whereas I thought if I put it out there that I specialized in relationship dynamics, I'd be hit at all angles, like you would think on the psychic lines. But it's not like that. There's a different tone.
Right. And there's also a big aspect of this that a lot of people don't even think of, and that's the niching and the sub niching allows you to focus, and now you know the kind of client you want to attract, but also it lets you know what you should be putting out there. So instead of just general content, social media posts about tarot in general, you can get very, very, very specific. And if you are the pet psychic, if you are the lost love person, reader, that everything you put on social media and the articles you write and everything along those lines has to do with that topic, and that's all you bother putting out. It means you can put out less because you're not trying to shotgun approach, do everything. You're narrowing it down, and it also helps with other areas. For instance, another thing about becoming the expert is other ways. For instance, is starting your own podcast or writing a book. You know about that because you recently launched your first book.
Yes.
It's so easy to do nowadays, but it still has that impact that they wrote the book. So if you're niched and sub niched, now exactly what to write the book on. Not tarot in general, or even things like I'm going to write a book on court cards, or or spreads, or this or that. To write the book on, I solve this problem, and I'm going to tell stories and anecdotes, with readings I've done and clients and so forth, and how I do it, and what's my journey been, and all this kind of thing. And 80 pages, 100 pages, doesn't have to be really long, and bam, you're a published author, and you're seen as the expert because you're doing the book on that one big problem that you solve. What's the big problem that you solve? I keep coming back to that. Because I just personally think that, yeah, it's great to niche in an area. I'm the finance reader, I'm the romance reader, I'm the pet reader, but sub niche further down, you got to have that problem that you solve, really. And doing that allows you to do all this with your business. What to write the book on, what social media posts to do. Trying to think of some other examples, but I'm coming up a little short here. But
Even just your sign for marketing,
the
because
idea.
I actually, yeah, like I have a sign
What to put on your business card.
on your moniker, right? Exactly.
Yeah, you have the
Exactly.
little pet, because I'm the pet psychic, but also other things that people don't think about. We just did a whole workshop on developing multiple streams of income. And that was Gary Karp. And one of the things we talked about was like affiliate marketing. That's another stream of income. So if you've niched down, like take pets, for example, now anything related to pets, you can promote. So, oh, one thing I forgot to mention is not only the articles you write, which you can post on the tarotguild.com as a member, just, shameless plug there. Join the guild. Yeah, put all your articles in one place. If you don't have your own website, you don't need it. That's what we're there for. You get your own profile, your own blog, everything's right there on the website. And you can start posting these articles, your content for social media. Also, the book you write, but also like I can start a YouTube channel. And rather than just in general, hi, I'm Jane, I do tarot readings, you can be very specific and your content can be all related. So you're the pet reader and you talk a lot about that, but then you can go into things that have like nothing to do with the reading or tarot, but have to do with pets and training pets and feeding pets and entertaining pets and all kinds of different things. And then you can look for affiliate products and services that you can promote on your channel and your other social media and so forth, that relate to pets. I mean, it's almost endless. I think pets is probably the best sub niche because everybody loves their pet, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, fancy robot cat boxes, litter boxes, and I mean, you sell one of those $500 things off of Amazon, and even though it's only like 5-7%, you're making a nice little bit of change there.
Yeah.
So what other thing can you, and what you mentioned earlier, Nicole, about niching and how it lets you uh collaborate with other people. So not somebody that's another pet psychic or pet medium or pet reader, but somebody in the industry like a dog trainer. So you collaborate with a dog trainer, you interview them on your YouTube channel, you set up an affiliate marketing deal with them that everybody that you send to them to hire that person as their dog trainer, you get a percentage of the sale, kind of thing. I mean, it's almost endless, and this can be done for almost every niche.
Hmm.
I'm just really liking the pet thing right now.
Yeah. Everybody is actually. It's quite surprising because I was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do pet readings, and then when I started really getting into it, I started enjoying it. It was, I have dedicated decks for them, and it's a lot of fun.
And it's not saturated. You would think it would be, but it's not.
No.
um there's pet psychics, but especially tarot readers specializing in that is really rare. And when you think of tarot, you think more of the romance readings and things like that. Nothing wrong with that. You can still
Mhm.
niche in that area, especially if you can get it down to a specific demographic and that big problem that you solve.
No.
But that's what most people think of. That might be a little saturated, but pet tarot readers is not saturated, folks.
No, and basically what I'm doing right now is I'm doing virtual readings.
Mhm.
I'm doing for the pets. Like I have that on my site for availability. And then the store where I had the event, we've chosen one. I'm there every Saturday. So we've chosen one Saturday a month to make that pet and animal day.
Oh, great idea. And that's another collaborating with your local metaphysical stores and things like
Hmm.
that. That's another great idea. So maybe we should ask if anybody that's here with us live has any questions or ideas, uh, niche areas. What have you guys niched in, and or any questions or anything?
Yeah. So do you charge differently depending on what you're niching? Like if you do that relationship spread that's 15 cards, do you charge differently?
No.
Okay.
So I have a set rate. So basically my rates are 15 minutes for $35, a half hour for 60, 40 minutes is $80, and then I go like after I go 40 minutes, it's an hour plus. So it's basically
Okay.
until we are done, and that's 150. So
Oh, okay.
sometimes I'll spend an hour and a half with somebody, sometimes I'll spend 2 hours. Like that has no cap.
Okay.
But though the 40 minute, the 60 minute plus, the 40 minute, and the 30 minute are on my virtual. Like those are my virtual readings. But when I go
Uh-huh.
to the stores, like depending on how quickly I have to turn over. So if I'm doing the pet readings are only about 15 minutes because the pet can't sit, that long.
Yeah.
It's just, and
Right.
not to be a jerk,
Unless
but
it's a fish.
right. And the pet isn't going to have a question like
Mhm.
a human would. So if I'm doing like
Or a tangent.
correct. so if I'm not and then if I'm at a store and I'm doing my readings at my store readings where I'm a house reader, I offer 15-minute readings for 35 or 30-minute readings for 60.
Okay.
And I'll get a big range because people are coming to specifically see me. So most
Mhm.
often than not, they're spending the half hour with me.
Okay.
The 15-minute condensed reading, I allow for people that just want to walk by and they just want a quick reading and they want to get in and get out. So
Right.
I let them choose.
Hmm. Okay.
But yeah, but I'm not gonna, it's pretty obvious. I'm not gonna tell somebody I need 40 minutes with your pet. It's
Right.
just,
Right.
so in that regard, I try to, keep that time in consideration.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What platform do you use when you do virtual?
Zoom.
Oh,
And
nice. Okay.
I do Zoom. So basically what happens is I'm not in my reading space right now, but I actually have like the clamp on the arm. So it's like a phone clamp.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What
Sure.
it'll do, I will have like I will do the Zoom on my phone. So I will have a virtual conversation with somebody face to face as I normally would when we
Mhm.
are face to face. And
Right.
when it's time for me to shuffle, I will take the phone and I will put it up on that clamp and I will face it over the
Oh,
card. So they
great.
will actually see the spread develop and they will see the cards that will come out as I'm reading it.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Another
I've
technical.
not ventured virtually yet.
Okay. Well, you might
Well,
want to look into my book then, because
yeah, read
there's
the
a lot
book.
of information. Yeah, there's a lot of information in there as to even why I use Zoom, because I also use another app, Calendly. And when you book,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
okay, so when you book through Calendly,
Yeah.
it automatically generates the Zoom link and it comes up in your phone. So
Hmm.
it's
Okay.
pretty much, and then it adds it to your Google Calendar. So everything
Nice.
is working very succinctly. It's
That's
very, I
Okay.
nice.
really like it.
Yeah, it's worth
Okay.
it actually to get the professional. I think it's like $15 a month. That's what I have for Zoom.
Mhm.
You get so much more functionality out of it. When I do mine, I do what I'm doing right now. I use my laptop actually, because I just happen to have a really good camera in this. But I suggest for a lot of people, this is technical stuff. It's basically you want a little bit higher quality, at least 1080p. Most laptops still have those god awful 720 cameras in them, so using your phone is a great idea. Now, to be a little more professional though, turn it sideways like this so you
Yes.
get a landscape image as opposed to like Laura. right now, you're up and down with your camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're doing
Oh,
these with a
Want me
client,
to turn it?
get the lamp and turn
There
it.
we go.
Exactly. It looks so much more
Yeah.
professional, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing too is I actually alter my Celtic cross.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't,
Okay.
are you Celtic cross readers?
Yeah.
Okay, so virtually what I do is and depending on the Celtic cross, because I was taught a different Celtic cross than Waite's Celtic cross. So
Yeah.
my numbers are different, but I've got the way that I do it is just to easily explain it. I take my card 10 and I drop it next to my card 8.
Okay.
So that
Oh.
when you grab it on the phone, it's within that area.
It's
That
funny
makes
you
sense.
mention this because I'm about to do one of the workshops that are coming up is my tarot squared spread that I created, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago. And I haven't done a workshop on it for forever. But basically what it is, you're doing three card spread rows in a spread that's a square. That's why it's called tarot squared, and it fits in the camera really good. Unlike the Celtic cross where it's like this and you got the staff over here and everything, it's the Celtic cross, but it's pulling it in. And it also allows you to read diagonally and up and down, and you get 3-card reading, 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 3-card reading. And I'm going to explain how to do it in the workshop
Cool.
with Tarot Squared. And it works really good for these virtual readings where you want the Celtic cross style, larger spread, but you want it to fit on camera. And it also just functions so much easier than the Celtic cross where you're able to see the connections much quicker and easier.
Yeah, the way that I set mine up too, it helps me see, because the way that I train, there's 13 hidden spreads inside the Celtic cross.
Yes.
The
And
way,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
so that's coming up soon. I don't know exactly. We have 2 other workshops coming up, and I may squeeze it in there, this month or next month. We'll see. I'm
It
excited
sounds
to do
really
it again
cool.
because
Definitely tune in.
it's been for forever since I've actually, done it, maybe like 8 years. But yeah, it was like about 20 years ago I came up with that because I hated the Celtic cross
And
and
that
it's
sounds a lot
so
depending.
unwieldy to me.
Yeah, depending on what the subject area of the hidden spreads, that sounds a lot like Lenormand.
Well, another
Mm.
thing is that I'm a numerologist and I was a numerologist before a tarot reader. So when I saw the Celtic cross and I saw the cross and I saw these extra cards and I just threw them in there and made this square. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 9 numbers in numerology. And it just all made so much sense and fell together for me. Another thing I wanted to mention, setting yourself apart besides niching, we've mentioned a few things like start the YouTube channel, write the book, things like that. Also, I want to suggest joining the Tarot Guild, join a professionals organization, get certified, do clients really care and ask you for your certificate? No. However, if you use it in your marketing, if you use it on your website, if you have the little logo there, certified by the Tarot Guild, it really, then it does help because you're putting it in front of your clients and putting it on your business cards, your brochures, anything else, flyers, anything else that you put out there that you're a certified reader. That really does help,
Oh
and
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's on my cards, and it's definitely a conversation starter with some people that they do ask you, like, well, what's your training? What are these letters? Like, because I just use the
Yeah.
letter,
exactly,
So it's a good, it's
CCP,
something.
CPR,
Yep, it's something to spark the conversation, and then then you can really say, hey, well, yeah, I'm trained, I'm certified, I went to school, I did this, I did that, So, you know, it does set you apart. And unfortunately, we are in a society that's very driven by certifications and certificates and
Well,
schooling and stuff like that. So
what I'd like to say about that is that it's really more of a US phenomenon or a North America phenomenon.
yes,
In other parts of the world, they don't care about certification at all. Although I got to tell you, we've certified people in Vietnam, Korea, China, Japan, Australia. I mean, you know, just all across Europe, you know. So yeah, people are still, you know, wanting to do it. Oh, I got to check in the chat too. I think some people have been popping stuff in the chat here, but just to wrap up on this, another thing is, you know, besides my CTM certified tarot master, I have certified life coach on there as well. That's another way to add something to your business where you're seen as the expert. You know, and we have our life coaching course, which is really inexpensive, and it's very in-depth, 30 video modules there on thetarotguild.com. You can pop over there and check it out. I highly recommend. I tell all of our members to take the course, get certified, and it's a CLC, put that certified life coach on there as well, because a lot of people, that's what they're looking for. You know, they go to a tarot reader because it's cheaper, but also because there's still a stigma about going to a therapist.
Yeah.
yeah. And unfortunately, right now we are in and I was just speaking to a couple people this week in the industry about this. That, and there's another layer, another component going on right now, that there is a shortage of therapists. Like, people can't find therapists. So we as readers have to prepare ourselves for that as well. That we could be coming up into situations where we might get a little over our head, you know, because there is a mental health shortage right now, you know.
Yes. And, you know, I'm not suggesting that anybody that doesn't have the credentials to diagnose anything or treat anything.
Correct.
Okay? In fact, absolutely, what you want to do is you want to niche in something where you're solving a big problem for somebody, and it's in a positive thing. This person doesn't have any mental health problems. It's just they need help getting to that next step, getting to that goal. That's where the life coaching comes in. Life coaching is a fantastic foundation for anything else you do, whether you're a tarot reader or a Reiki master or whatever you're doing is the life coaching. Also, I would suggest learning some other techniques, especially if they're rapid techniques. For instance, EFT, emotional freedom techniques, neurolinguistics, NLP, where you're sitting there doing a reading with somebody and something does come up. Now, you're not qualified to diagnose it and treat it, but you can ask them how they're feeling. And you can work with feelings. You don't have to diagnose anything with that. You know, so if they feel like they're blocked, if they're feeling a negative emotion, you can go through a tapping session with them. You can go through an NLP technique, and in 5 minutes, just wipe that out. And how much more valuable does that make you as a reader than just somebody giving them information off the cards?
Yeah, I mean, and even astrology, you know, I'm delving into that now. Piper asked me who I trained with. I mentioned that earlier, so I'm okay saying. She's like, I don't want to, you know, but no, I trained with Dusty White. I bought his book. It was just one of those things where it was like I got really frustrated with all of the books out there, and I angrily in Amazon typed in easiest way to learn the tarot, and his book came up. So I took that as the message. And
I know, it's like I need to write a book and put it in there so I can use those keywords, you know, because my course, I do teach numerology alongside of tarot, and that's the whole idea of it. It's called Tarot by the Numbers. And you get that free when you join as a lifetime member of the guild. It's a $297 course. If you join as a premium member, we still have the premium membership. It's $1 a month. It's $12 for the year. It's a no-brainer. You join and you get a discount off my course, get $100 off. It's $197 instead of $297. And certification is two payments of $67 or a single payment of $124. So it's $134 versus $124 there if you want to pay the single payment. But when you join as a lifetime member, you get your certification free. You get higher levels of certification for half the cost. So instead of 2 payments of $67, it's 1 payment of $67. And you get my $297 course included.
I still have to go take it. But yeah,
I took it.
Nicole's all signed up and hasn't taken the course yet,
Yeah, but I just recently
you trained with Dusty, so you're okay. Trust me, because I know I've interviewed him, multiple times, and I have all of his books as well, and yeah, I've known Dusty for like a decade or more.
Yeah, he's now going through. He just published in January, Easiest Way to Learn Astrology. So
oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Now I'm going through that and my brain is just exploding. Like it's crazy. And
what I like about numerology, it doesn't blow my brain like astrology does.
It's
only 9 numbers. It's so easy to learn.
Yeah. I am learning numerology as I go too. I'm trying to teach myself that. So your course is going to be perfect. Like I love courses rather than sitting there with a book sometimes.
Yeah.
But astrology I find so interesting because I only know little bits and pieces of it.
Me too.
Like we're really deep diving now. Yeah. But just even like the overall characteristics of people, like, it's just so interesting to see how it works, especially when you're doing relationship dynamics, because it's like, well, okay, well, you're a Taurus and you're married to like a Gemini, and no wonder why you're like angry because he touched your leftovers. Like, it's like, it's like.
Hey, I am a Gemini, but it's funny you mentioned that because sun signs are about the only thing I'll ever do. Like I'll pull a court card and it's like, oh, there might be an air sign person coming in, that's as far as I go with astrology. And I really don't want to learn astrology, to be honest with you. My brain would explode. I already have too much stuff up here between EFT, NLP, life coaching, hypnosis, tarot, numerology.
Yeah, I really think there is a line where you really can learn too much and then your brain just like becomes
true. It's so true. You don't need another course, folks. Just start doing it.
Right. Right.
I tell people that all the time, and a lot of my hypnosis and NLP instructors, say that that's the thing that hangs people up. They take, the next shiny thing, the next course after that, and it's like, you don't, hypnosis and NLP practice is very simple. You really do not need all that. Same thing with tarot, you're pulling the cards. So that's what
they all speak to, and they speak to us all differently. It's just that you have to learn the language for yourself.
Yeah, I think we overthink a lot of this too. Even the niching part, I think you can spend too much time trying to figure it out instead of, I like your idea of, well, why not see what comes up?
Yes.
Do 100 free readings. Even if you've been reading for like 30 years, go on Instagram, and I don't know where people go nowadays, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and or maybe you have an email list, mail it out, or put it on the Tarot Guild website, or in the Tarot Guild group on Facebook, and just say, hey, I'm doing free readings,
I literally, for me to do it when I first started, so there's an issue, and I addressed that in my book. Do not DM anyone and say, I'll give you a free reading. So
don't do it that way. No,
don't do it that way, because then what's going to happen is, first of all, people are going to think you're a scam.
Scammers do
that. Right. Or secondly, you're training your future clients to be scammed. So just don't do it.
Right.
Better off the way that I did it was I texted all my friends. I just went through my phone and I created a text and I cut and pasted it. I'm sorry, guys. But I said, just introduce, hey, I'm doing 100 free readings. I'm training. I'm at a part in my training where I have to do 100 free readings. Please let me know if you'd be interested or if you know of anybody that would be interested. And boom, like my phone just blew up.
Mhm.
So yeah, just make a really nice text and cut and paste it and just give it out to everybody in your phone. But do not forget to include if you know of anyone else, because
Okay.
that's automatically starting the referral program in their minds.
Yeah, look around and see
Yeah.
what other people are doing. Even look at areas that aren't necessarily or typically serviced by tarot readers, but there's some kind of professional doing something where they're solving a problem for someone in something, and go, hey, we could do readings on that. Like the pet thing is a perfect example. There's not a lot of people doing tarot card readings with pets. There's animal communicators, which are like I'm not even talking about the psychic kind. I'm talking about the whisperers kind of thing, you might see something like that, or know that a therapist helps people in an area and that you have an interest in, and then go, okay, how can I develop a reading around that? How can I develop a spread around that? How can I solve a problem in that within the context of doing a tarot reading, and bring the life coaching in too? See, that's why it's brilliant to go take the life coaching course.
Mm-hmm.
You have those skills, and you can take people to figure out that end goal, and then work backwards and break it up into smaller pieces, and what you do.
The
Yeah.
interesting thing about the life coaching course,
Mhm.
and I took a different one because it was before I
That's
came
fine.
into but the interesting thing about the life coaching course, and I feel like it's any life coaching course, is they get to it changes the way you do your readings. And what I mean by that is that you actually become more of, so I'll turn a card over and I'll see what the card means, but at the same time, like when I'm doing like the fear, like
Mhm.
like the fear spot, because I have in my Celtic cross, there's one called the fear spot, and it's basically like their fear, and I'm like, do you fear? Like I don't tell them, well, oh my God, you fear snakes, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, do you have a problem with snakes? Do you fear snakes? Like, so this is something where it's not like I'm telling them the cards, but I'm also
Mhm.
pulling information out of them and I'm asking information. So it's not like it's almost like a think session for them.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah, so it actually changes the way that you deliver your information.
So just for fun, I popped in the link here to the life coaching course for everybody, and
Mhm.
go check it out. It's 30 video modules, the one that we've been recommending for 14 years now. Uh, this is not an old course. It was updated in 2020 by Dr. Jones, my friend Steve. He's also a hypnotherapist, colleague of mine, and he got his doctorate in education and started, teaching all these fabulous courses on NLP, hypnosis, and so forth. And when he came out with the life coaching course umpteen years ago now, it was just, fabulous. And people were charging $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for a life coaching course. This course was originally, I think, $675, but we've always offered it to our members for $77. But it's on sale right now for, I kid you not, $39. So it's over at our website. You can find the banner and just click on it, or type in thetarotguild.com/coach. That'll take you right over there. And then as far as the membership, yeah, just click on, you'll see the banner for our lifetime membership. You can click on that, or you can click on the website, thetarotguild.com, on the website, you'll see like join the guild, and you can join the guild.
Piper has a quick question about, she's asking about after the X amount of free readings, at what point do you recommend kicking off a business? Do you think you need other skills first to even start? Okay, Piper. So I also addressed this in my book. And I believe I also addressed it on the last time we were on our interview together. So, and she mentioned Dusty. So basically in my training, I was not planning on going into business. I wasn't. This was just something for tarot that I was learning to do for myself, for, you know, self-improvement and stuff. But what happened was I got to the point in the studies with Dusty where it was like, okay, we're X amount through the course. You have to go out and do 100 free readings. And while I was doing those readings, you know, I am an Aries, I am an overachiever. I will not deny that in any way. I was actually reading for other tarot readers, and I was reading for mediums, and I was reading. So I really, really challenged myself, as you know, as well as regular normie people I was reading for. And the feedback I was getting from other professionals in the industry were like, are you going to do this because you're really good? And it was like, oh, like I really started thinking about it. And what happened was just partially to I set up my business probably about a week and a half into me doing the 100 free readings, basically because the feedback I was getting was astronomically positive. And, you know, I was literally being told more than once, you are leaving way too much on the table if you do not do this professionally. But I was also a little bit nervous about the fact of where I stood liability wise. So that's why I went and I applied and I got an LLC. If you're here in America, that's what we do to, you know, protect ourselves a little bit more than having a sole proprietorship, something I go into in the book, and the importance of that, to protect ourselves. And then, you know, so I had just done that and I said, look, it only cost me like $150 to protect myself by establishing an LLC. Let me just do that at least. And then it snowballed from there. And then it was like, okay, well, I'll do a Linktree website, and then I'll do this, and then I'll get insurance. And then, so I started off very quickly ramping up with the LLC and choosing to do the LLC for that reason, for self-protection, because I just didn't know what I was up against, you know, working with the public. So, you know, as far as recommending kicking off a business, it's whenever you feel it's right. But as I said, that was my journey as far as how I did that one, you know, and other skills, people skills. That's all we need is really people skills, you know, and to just understand that there's a lot that we may be taking on, that there's a responsibility that we have for the other person sitting across from us. It's not just us.
Right.
I wanted to tag on to that and say, you know, when you're doing the 100 readings during that time, it doesn't take very long to get through the life coaching course. You can join the guild, get certified. Nicole, you know how fast our certification process is. It's real fast. You become a professional member, you get certified, you take the life coaching course. It may take you a week or two. It may take you 2 days. I mean, it depends on how fast and how much time you have to go through the life coaching course. And you can get all of that in, all that preparation, even create your LLC. You can get that all in during those 100 free readings. Trust me.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is I actually certified with the Tarot Guild before I certified with Dusty, because his certification process was so much more involved. And I got through the 100. I think I certified with you after the 100, after I did the 100 readings.
Yeah, it was after.
Yeah, because I was so panicked that I wanted validation that what I was doing was right and it was on track, that I felt like I needed that piece of paper. Like it was just for me, for my own peace of mind, to know that what I was doing was at a professional level. And then I went on to study further and then finally certified probably about 6 months later with Dusty.
Another thing I wanted to mention real quick, I'm putting the link into your book
Thank you.
And
Oh,
for
yay.
And for everybody watching this later, everything we've been discussing, the life coaching course, the membership at the guild, certification, Nicole's book, everything's going to be linked below wherever you're watching this video. So just look down there in the comments, or in the there might be a description if it's on YouTube or on our website, it'll be in the description. So I'll make sure I get all those links in there. Anybody else have any more questions before we wrap it up? Wow, we really
Yeah.
went over, but it's like, let's end.
Yeah. What? Sorry. So I know you had mentioned in a previous interview how you when you leave when a customer leaves you or a client leaves you, you give them 3 business cards and then they get stuff off.
Yes.
That's awesome. How do
Great
you
idea.
get feedback or reviews? Do you ask people, like, give me a 5-star rating on Google or something to that effect?
So here's the slippery slope. We're not, according to Yelp, we're not supposed to ask. So, what I do is, if there's somebody really, so I have a couple different places where I put my reviews. There are some, when I was doing my 100 first readings, I was actually asking people to to email me a review so that I could put it up on my website. So I actually have a testimonial. I have actually an ongoing testimonial loop on my website where I dump all of them. And then what happened was I was slowly opening up a Google business, and then I opened up a Yelp. But the drawback to the Yelp and the Google business is that you have to have a Google Gmail, or you have to have a Yelp account. And not everybody in the world does. So that's where there's a rub. So I have the Yelp and I have the Google link on my website, and it's there. So if somebody is like, yay, I want to leave, this was great, and they're raving, and feel like, you know what, I'd really appreciate it if you just left me a review on either Yelp or Google, but do me a favor and, copy and paste it to me and email it to me or text it to me so that I could put it up on my website. Because here's the rub with Google and Yelp, especially Google. People will leave a review and a bot will look through it. And if the bot doesn't like certain keywords that are in it, it will delete it.
Oh, wow.
I have about a dozen Google reviews that never made it to Google reviews.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I would definitely have them send it to you.
Yes. So that's what I do. And then I tell them that just send me a copy of it so I can put it on my own website. So I add it to my own website. And then what I do is I go into Canva and I copy and paste it, and I put it on a really nice graphic. So if you look on if you actually go on my Instagram, there's actually in my highlights of my stories, there's a testimonial button, and those are all the old testimonials. So basically what I did was I found a really nice graphic I liked, and I copied and I pasted it into there. And then I share it on my Instagram stories, and then I share it on my Instagram post. So they're living well beyond going on Yelp.
Okay.
Like that. Going on Google.
Yeah.
Or just going on my website. So it's another form of promotion for yourself that you can create by
ask them for, reposting permission, specifically ask them, is it okay if I share your review?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I say that so I can, and then I say, can you share that review with me so that I can put it on my social media and my website? And they say yes. So
so they're giving permission at that point.
Correct.
Yeah. Also,
correct. And I never use their last name. I use their first name and the first letter of their last name. I never ever put their whole name.
Right. Right. That's the best way to do it. Nancy C. period.
Correct.
I also want to, because as you were talking, I started to put myself in the shoes of some people that are probably watching this that are just thinking to themselves, I don't have a website. If you're a member of the guild, if you've joined the website free, at the top of any page, you click sign up, you already have a website. You have a page on the guild. You can put your testimonials on that page. There's an editable section, and that's free. Everybody gets that. yeah, you don't even have to join, Now, if you want to go a little further and you want to, for instance, write articles or have other pages on the site, you want a custom URL to that page on the Tarot Guild website, you can join as a premium member. Like I said, $1 a month, $12. That's part of what you get. Or if you become a lifetime member, again, you get the same thing. And so you can have nicole.thetarotguild.com. You may never have to spend the money or time creating a website if you don't want
Oh
to.
yeah. And I don't actually even have a website, which is another thing. That's
Oh
another.
yeah,
little
you do the link tree, which is
I
really
have a
cool.
link tree. I have a link tree
Yeah.
program, and it's just like blinged out with like milkshake and Calendly, and so
Yeah.
it's just basically where to find me, who I am, and how to book.
Mhm.
It's very simple.
And by
It's
the way,
very-
in that editable section on your page on the Tarot Guild website that everybody gets when they sign up to the website, it's editable. So you can put all that in there. Also, for instance, if you become a premium member and you get your custom URL, you could create an article where you put all your testimonials in, take that link and link it on your page. So testimonials. And when they click on that, it takes them to that article page that has all of your testimonials. Or if you don't want it in the article section, just tell me. I'll make you a testimonial page and then give you the link to link it into your page on the Tarot Guild website. There's a lot of things that you can do, and a lot of things that people don't realize are free on the Tarot Guild website. And the other nice thing is, instead of just having a website out there in the ether, you're on a dedicated tarot website.
yeah, and the reason
Sounds
why
like a good upcoming workshop.
yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, the
I
reason
never
why-
thought
yeah,
about doing
and
a
that's-
workshop on it.
Right. And that's a big reason why because I've had other businesses and I was spending $30-$40 a month on a website. And then the website comes, like the URL comes due, and it's like another $250 for the year. And it's just kind of like, this is a bunch of garbage. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm not, because I'm not a blogger. That's just not who I am. It's like, so that's why I chose to do the route of the link tree. But the Tarot Guild, that website alone is the answer to doing it on a budget.
Yeah. And that was the whole idea of it, was so we'd have a platform for especially new readers, and maybe they don't have a website yet. They're planning on doing it in the future or what have you. Here's a free option, and who knows, you may never need or want to spend $1,000 or $2,000 building a website, or even if you do it yourself, you have to, they have all the wonderful platforms like Wix and everything, but you have to use your own time, to do that. This way it's already made, it's instantaneous, boom, and you can fill it out. Yeah. Any other questions out there? Piper says, I like the budget. Third world currencies kind of suck. Yep. Here's a free, or if you become a member, it's a semi-free. It's $1 a month. Try to get hosting for $1 a month, Nicole. Right?
You can't. No.
Any other questions out there from anybody, or comments, or ideas? Do you have a niching idea that we haven't thought of? I guess that's it. Wow, this was great, Nicole.
Yeah, I was a little slow out of the gate, but I woke up.
Yeah, I was having the coffee, trying to wake up myself. Well, thanks everybody for being here, and join us for the next workshop. Oh my gosh, we have a bunch of workshops we have to do now that we thought of. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Piper.
And Ellie gave you some feedback, didn't she? The Moonchild?
I don't see it.
Not in here.
Oh, no, oh.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Ellie wasn't on today, I don't think. She said she was coming, but she didn't make it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on previous ones she has. Yeah.
Yes.
She's had a whole bunch of ideas. In fact, she sent a whole list of topic ideas and I'm like, oh, this is what we need. We need more of our members to say, you know, this is where I'm stuck. This is what I need help on,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mhm.
so that we know what to do the content on, the workshops on, the articles, you know, what's your sticking points? You know, let us know.
Yeah, I'd really
Yeah.
like to do something as far as with the book, like getting a group of people together and like studying the book and like going through the book like chapter at a time.
In fact,
That'd be cool.
each chapter, or depending on the flow, maybe a chapter and a half, 2 chapters. Each chapter basically could be its own mini workshop. You know,
Yes.
we're talking
Yeah.
LLCs today. You know, we're talking naming your business today. You know, why not? You know, we could do a whole, you know, string of workshops on just your book, and then we get to, you know, hawk the book every time too. I need to have my copy, you know, so I can put it up here.
Wait, I don't even know. Wait, hold on a minute.
She's like, I don't even know if I have a copy of my own book, right? You know?
I do. It's in my tarot bag.
But well, at the very least, I'll get the image and I'll put it up here on the screen, you know, of your. I should have done that today, but I didn't think about it.
There's one.
Yay.
Yay. There she is.
There it is.
Ooh, love the color.
Business.
Thank you.
I love that. I love the cover.
Thank you.
Yep. All righty. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you on the next workshop.
Okay.
All
Bye,
right.